Hello again. Now, the decision to allow children younger than 12 to get a COVID-19 jab is under scrutiny. The committee established by the Health Ministry is set this morning to review this approval by the South African Health Products Regulatory Authority. This after anti-vax organization Free the Children, Save the Nation raised an objection to teenagers getting the Pfizer vaccine. Proceedings have now been postponed. Our reporter Heidi Giokos is following this story for us, joining us this afternoon. Heidi, a very good afternoon to you. Tell us more about the regulators' reasons to have this hearing postponed.
With regards to this appeal committee that was set up by the Minister of Health, Dr. Joe Pat, people not really being interested, rather not being agreeing to the fact that there is a vaccine rollout for teenagers, those aged between 12 and 17 years old. And you have this organization called Free the Children, Save the Nation that have actually taken the Department of Health and SAHPRA to court, arguing that children do not need to be vaccinated because they are not at high risk of contracting COVID-19. And if they are, they do not get severely ill and need to be hospitalized. However, the Department of Health, of course, from advice from the medicine regulator, which is SAHPRA, says it's needed for children to get vaccinated. The evidence shows that it provides the necessary protection, and COVID-19 vaccines actually save lives. But we do understand that today and Monday, the appeal committee was supposed to hear this application from this organization, together with SAHPRA arguing why they did approve vaccines for teenagers. And SAHPRA, unfortunately, was not ready to proceed, which I think frustrated the appeal committee because they were ready to go ahead. They've known about this appeal since October, but they have indicated, and I think it's an important indication, that they are not in a position to provide the documentation they've received from Pfizer when that application was made for the medicine regulator to approve the vaccine for those aged between 12 and 17 years old. It's confidential information. Pfizer has not agreed for this to be made public for a number of reasons, one being that it's information that competitors, other vaccine manufacturers, will be able to use, and Pfizer is just not in a position to provide that kind of information. SAHPRA also did not have enough witnesses to present to the appeal committee today and Monday. But let's further listen to the legal team of SAHPRA as to why they've asked for this postponement.
The issues involved in the matter are not as simple as one would like to, or on face value, as they appear. They are quite involved. They involve a very important subject matter which is currently going on in the country, being the coronavirus, Chairperson, and how government has to act in order to curb that, and also puts into the spotlight SAHPRA's mandate as the regulator of medicines in the country, whose primary duty is to safeguard the interest of the public, to ensure that not every medication that is on the shelves is easily consumed. Now, that being the case, we require, Chair, that there should be a proper exchange of the documents and proper records, where you are given a full set of documents which both parties will have ample time to look at and consult with their relevant experts. And they given, and under the current situation, Chair, that is practically not possible. You would have noted that as of this morning, there was even a letter from the appellant's attorneys where they complained that there has not been compliance with your ruling, and that on its own, Chairperson, will submit. That is a clear indication that the matter is not ripe for hearing.
Now, Heidi, I understand the Free the Children, Save the Nation is disputing this request. What do they say?
Yes, so this organization said it was ready to forge ahead with this appeal request from the appeal committee set up by the Minister of Health, Dr. Joe Patla. They were ready to go ahead. They felt as though they had the necessary witnesses ready and the documentation. They cited that they will be using one doctor, I think, from the UK, and they had almost 8 witnesses that they could bring forward to explain why they believe that those aged between 12 and 17 years old should not be vaccinated with the COVID-19 vaccine, the Pfizer one that's being rolled out here in South Africa. But they also requested that if there is a postponement, which indeed was granted by the chairperson of the appeal committee, that there should be a immediate suspension of the vaccine rollout for teenagers until the appeal committee sits and hears the appeal application and makes a final decision. However, that should lie most likely with the courts, because it is approved by government, of course, after the medicine regulator has provided government with all the documentation as to why these vaccines should be rolled out, especially among the teenagers. And that request was not even given any kind of attention, because that would mean a direct impact and suspension on the country's vaccine rollout, especially in teenagers. And government time and time again has communicated how it's trying to ramp up its vaccine rollout program. And if there was any kind of suspension, it would probably have to be a direct interdict from a high court or any other court in the country. So that wasn't entertained. But of course, the organization's legal team was quite frustrated. They wanted to go ahead, but we do understand now it's been postponed to May. But let's listen to the organization's legal team arguing that they are ready to go ahead with this appeal request.
SAHPRA is misleading you. SAHPRA are not acting in good faith. They are not bona fide, they are mala fide. And I'm going to demonstrate all of this to you. Their request for a postponement is consistent with their approach over the last 4 months not to inform the public, not to inform our client, Free the Children, Save the Nation, not to even inform us or to give us a copy of the authorization under Section 21, which would otherwise be a public document. They don't even put it up in the court papers before the High Court, notwithstanding severe criticism of that action. So I'm going to submit to you that this approach for a postponement at this stage is duplicitous. And I'm going to submit to you they take this approach because they cannot justify their decision to you, and they are going to waste this committee's time. They are abusing the process of appeal to buy time for reasons only they may know what for, and they are not committed to this appeal.